Welcome fellow vintage Ray-Ban lovers out there, hope you're well. And today we have another topic for you. First of all, it's a lovely Sunday, it's sunny, it's June. Last week was just crap. It was dark, it was dingy, it was raining, it was like we was back in February. But today, it's pulled it out of the hat, and the Lord has said, I'm going to shine on you today. But yes, it's nice, it's beautiful, it's a sunny day. But today, I want to chat about age. Now, I have come to learn over the years that if you don't know what you're talking about, shut the fuck up. Right? It's as simple as that. You know, if you're not 100% sure about your facts, either you find out and make sure, or you shut the fuck up. You don't guess. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you're just going to make a fool out of yourself. If you think you know something and in fact you are wrong, then that's fine. At least admit to that. But if you're blatantly putting out misinformation, then you just need to shut the fuck up. Right? So, one of my gripes is when people put their vintage Ray-Ban sunglasses up for sale on various sites, and in their description they put guaranteed facts. This is from the 1990s. This is from the 1950s. You know, it's never I think, or it may, or I've been told. It's always guaranteed 100% this is from X, Y, and Z. Right? So, let me show you a couple of examples. So let me just begin to say that what you're about to see are genuine sales of vintage Ray-Ban sunglasses. The only thing that I've changed is the information that you don't actually need. So the first one here says beautiful late 1950s Ray-Ban aviator sunglasses. Right from the off, I can tell you that these are not late 1950s. Okay? I'm not going to tell you why. I'll show you that later. The second one is this one, okay? It says 60s vintage B&L Ray-Ban USA 24K gold, blah, 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 caravan glasses, 58mm. Vintage item from the 1950s. Well, he wants to make up his mind. It's either 1950s or it's 1960s. I'll tell you what, it ain't none of them because they ain't from that era, okay? Once again, later on in the video, I'll show you why. But those two are two perfect examples of what I'm talking about. If you don't know what the hell you're talking about, don't say anything at all. Get your information straight before you make a mockery of yourself. So, if you are maybe selling a pair of vintage Ray-Ban sunglasses, then please keep watching, and then you can have the information to hand about the age of your sunglasses and be able to give the right information to your potential customers. If you are someone who's looking to purchase a pair of vintage Ray-Ban sunglasses, then please continue to watch, because then you'll have the ammunition to make sure that the glasses that you are looking at. You know, you've seen a description, he's told you they're 1920s or 1970s or whatever, okay? You now have the facts to hand because you know, right, he's talking bollocks, or, okay, these are genuine 1970s or whatever glasses, okay? So without further ado, there's going to be a little bit of music in the background so that it doesn't get boring, but please continue to watch, and hopefully you enjoy it, hopefully you get the information that you need, hopefully it helps and you don't get mugged off in the future. Peace. So here we have, I'm going to call it BL1, but it's not called BL1. I don't actually know what it's called, but this is the Bush and Lum etching, their first etching of the upside down triangle in a circle. As I said, I'm going to call it the BL1. And these glasses, or specifically the lenses, were created in the late 30s to the early stroke mid 40s. So if we move on to these brow line sunglasses, in the lenses at the top you can see BL2. So the 2 refers to Bush and Lum's second shade of green lenses, and these were created mid 1940s to the 1950s. I'm not quite sure if it's the early 50s or mid 50s or late 50s, but they were stopped in the 50s. So those are the BL2. So we go to this next one, and as you'll notice, these particular lenses don't have any etching whatsoever. So if you come across a pair of vintage Ray-Ban sunglasses and the lenses have no etching, that means these glasses are from the late 1950s to around about 1975. So that's 25 years of Ray-Ban or Bush and Lum not etching their lenses. So no etch is late 1950s to 1975. Okay. So sorry, not 25 years, it's about 20 years or so. So the next one is when you just have the B and L etching in the lens. And this was only put on Ray-Ban lenses from late 1970s. So from the late 1970s onwards till 1999, this is where you will find the BL etching. So the next one is where you have the white Ray-Ban signature at the top of the lens. This was put on all lenses by Bush and Lum for their Ray-Ban sunglasses from 1982. So you're never gonna find a pair of vintage Ray-Ban sunglasses with the Ray-Ban signature any earlier than 1982, because they only started putting them on to counteract counterfeiting from 1982. All right, folks. The next one is the gold Ray-Ban signature. These weren't put onto lenses until the 90s. So if you see a gold Ray-Ban signature on your glasses, they are from the 1990s. So let's discuss the other Ray-Ban lens signatures there are. So here you see a Ray-Ban GP lens. the GP standing for glass polarized. And these particular lenses came out in the 1980s. The exact date I am unsure about, but I do know that they definitely came out in the 1980s. If we now move on to the Ray-Ban 50, so this is probably, or is, should I say, the Mark I version of the Ray-Ban 50, and these came out in 1987, and then these particular ones are the Mark IIs. As you can tell, the difference in design between the Mark I 50 and the Mark II 50, but they both came out in 1987. Now we have the diamond hard lenses, and the diamond hard lenses came out approximately 1993. They were trademarked or registered for trademark in October of 1992, but were not released to the market until 1993. Next, you will see the Ray-Ban Chromax, which is the lightning bolt design, as you can see, and these particular lenses came out approximately around about 1994. Once again, these were registered for trademark in October of 1993, but didn't come out to market till 1994. So let's now move on to the age of types of lenses that Ray-Ban introduced to the market. So the first one you see here is the Cali chrome lens, which is always yellow, and Ray-Ban or Bush & Lomb developed these back in 1938. Then we can move on to these RB3 DGMs. So DGM stands for double gradient mirror. And also there's the RB3 TGMs, which stands for top gradient mirror. And both of those were introduced to the market in the 1940s. If we move on to these next pair of sunglasses, which are Mattock, and the thing with Mattocks is that the lenses are orange, and they are always orange. That's why they're called amber. And these particular lenses came out approximately around about 1974. However, they weren't actually registered by Ray-Ban until February of 1978, but they were introduced to the market 4 years earlier in 1974. We can now move on to these Fantasies lenses, and these particular lenses came out around about 1982. They were registered in July of 1982. However, there are rumours suggesting that these particular lenses were actually developed in the 70s and brought out in the 70s. However, the only information I can go by is by the registered trademark, and that information tells me that it was introduced in 1982 or around 1982. If we move on, we can now have a look at these B15 TGM. So that's brown lenses, top gradient mirror, and these were introduced in 1985. If we have a look at these Ray-Ban Ultra lenses, and these particular lenses came out in 1992. And then finally, but by no ways least, are these amethyst lenses, or what Ray-Ban like to call ACE. And these particular lenses were introduced to the market in 1996.